Hello, welcome to Retro Cheese Review, where I force my friends and family to watch cheesy movies from my childhood and then we review them. With me again is John, because you guys can't get enough of John for some reason. Let's give John a round of applause. Let's give him a boo just randomly, also just a Homer boo, because and maybe a laugh. Yeah, there we go. Just lots of soundboard. John, thank you for coming back. The Honey I Blew Up the Kid is still the top performing video. It's past my shorts. If I could just get enough subscribers to monetize, we'd be good. I'm still sitting at 53. For those of you who are watching this without subscribing, you're dead to me.
You're dead to me, Kyle.
You're basically pirating stuff. If you watch, that's not how it works. No, no. I just appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, please. Today's actually the Christmas special. I'm not sure how close to Christmas it'll come out. Our Congo review will probably come out closer to Christmas, because I've been itching to review Congo, and I'm doing that with Felicia later. I know there's been a delay in videos. I apologize. I was traveling a little bit and haven't felt very good, so there's been a little bit of a delay. But today we will be reviewing kind of a short movie. I don't even know if you call it a movie or a special, but it's my favorite Christmas special ever. You're all going to want to fight me. It's not my favorite Christmas movie, but it's my favorite Christmas special. Favorite Christmas movie is tied between Gremlins and Violent Night, which Violent Night's kind of new. Gremlins might get a review on this channel. Probably Gremlins 2, because Gremlins is too good. Now the big build-up, is a Garfield Christmas. For those of you who remember Garfield and Friends, this is Garfield Christmas. They have a Thanksgiving special too. I'm going to say this. I prefer Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving special.
Yes.
But Garfield's Christmas special just wrecks Charlie Brown's all to hell. And people are going to fight me over this. Listen, I'm from Indiana. It's a very Indiana Christmas. The grandma in it reminds me kind of my grandma. And it makes sense because Jim Davis, grew up like 20 minutes driving for me. I probably grew up closer to him than you did, because
Yeah.
He grew up just outside of Muncie, Indiana. I went to college in Muncie. I've been past like the farmhouse and everything. So yeah, Garfield Christmas. It was done in 1987. A lot of people think that it's a special for Garfield and Friends, and it kind of is, but oddly enough, it was done before Garfield and Friends. Garfield and Friends started in 1988. It was a lot of the same voice actors. Like the same guy for, John, for Garfield, and for Odie, kind of the most iconic, Garfield and Odie. I'm just going to say this, screw you, Bill Murray, you are not my Garfield. And whoever has voiced Garfield since then is probably going to get, isn't it Chris Pratt getting it now? God, he voices everything.
I don't know. I hope not, but I don't know.
I, oddly enough, could not find a Rotten Tomatoes score for this. I found a Rotten Tomatoes score for the first season of Garfield and Friends, which ran from 88 to 94, Garfield and Friends. So, and it's season 1. It didn't have a critic rating, but it had a 100% audience rating, which makes sense.
Love it.
But I did find an IMDb rating for this. It got an 8 out of 10, the Garfield Christmas special. On top, obviously, writer Jim Davis, he oversaw a lot of it. Jim Davis, great American hero. God bless him. It had Pat Carroll as his grandma, who voiced a ton of stuff. Yeah, she's the best part in the entire special. Grandma. She voiced Ursula in The Little Mermaid, the original one, and was like a Broadway actress.
Yes, I can hear that.
Yeah, now that you're like, yeah. And then David Lander was his brother, which was Squiggy from like Linny and Squiggy from Laverne and Shirley. Yeah, just random stuff that I looked up, and he just died back in 2020.
Oh.
So he was around for a while. Diving into the nostalgia review, I can't overlook the nostalgia. I forced my friends to watch this on Christmas. I watch it every Christmas. I'm going to give it a 15 out of 10 in my nostalgia review. How about you, John?
Oh, geez. So I had completely forgotten about this until you mentioned it, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I watched that a bunch of times as a kid. So as a kid, I do remember loving it. Like, I would probably give it somewhere like a 7 or 8 out of 10 as a child.
That's fair. I mean, most people prefer the Charlie Brown Christmas, and the Charlie Brown Christmas has a special place in my heart. Charles Schultz, but I don't know. I think it's because the grandma reminds me a lot of my grandma in it, and it is a very Indiana household. Indiana, small town Indiana. Farmhouse. Jim Davis wrote a lot that way. I absolutely loved Garfield and Friends, probably for the same reason.
Oh,
okay. So you gave it you said an 8.
7 or 8, somewhere in there.
Okay. So, diving in to the plot, it's a very short movie, like all Christmas specials. Garfield wakes up on Christmas Day to a gift, which is a Santa that makes him everything that he ever could want.
That chair.
Yeah, it's a Santa chair that he sets on, and it just craps out presents, whatever he thinks.
Just kept going and going and going, and just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, which leads to like a whole song about how that's the whole meaning of Christmas is just getting whatever the hell you want. Garfield is all about greed and being fat. I get it. And then you find out that's just like a dream in an opening.
Just to tease us.
Yeah, it's just to tease us. But it was a good opening. It had a good song. It's like, had a good beat to it.
He Scrooge McDucked all the junk he had created.
Oh yeah, completely. He's like swimming in it. Yeah, that's a fun scene.
There were like boom boxes in there and stuff, and you just dove right in, and you could have given yourself a concussion in there.
Well, despite being fat, he's a cat, and they're made of liquid, so he'd be fine. Everyone knows that cats are mostly liquid, and they can just kind of... Yeah, it was like a kid going into a ball pit. But that's just the opening. It rolls the credits and everything, the start. Then it's Garfield being woken up for Christmas, and because he has to go to grandma's, to John's grandma's, not his. So if you're going by cat rules, it's technically his great grandmother's. He doesn't want to deal with it because travel. Like there's a whole song where Odie's all happy and John's all happy about can't wait till Christmas, and Garfield's just treating it like a goddamn Monday. And he's just like, Christmas, travel, and it's like, oh, but all this great food, and it's like chores, cooking,
Oh yeah,
presents.
For every positive is a negative.
Every single thing has a negative because that's Garfield.
Steve, who is he talking to?
Shut up, Garfield! Why do you hate Mondays? You don't even work.
And then it's just a road trip, to Grandma's house where you meet John's entire family. I think this was the first special. You meet most of his family also in their Thanksgiving special.
Makes sense.
But you don't meet the grandma. You meet his mom in it, in the Thanksgiving. So this one you meet grandma, you meet mom, you meet dad, and you meet his brother, whose name is Doc Boy, which is like it's like a reference to, I think, Little House on the Prairie or something. Someone's gonna correct me.
Good night, John boy. Good night, John boy. John boy?
Damn it! Can't a guy masturbate in this house?
If I'm wrong, put a hate comment in the chat about how stupid I am because I'm wrong. I love feeding off of those hate comments.
He does. He really does.
Yes.
It's scary.
Yeah. So you're there. The mom is obviously bickering with the grandma. I don't know if it's her daughter or if it's this. I think it's this, technically it's her daughter-in-law. The mom is. I think because if you look, John's dad looks just like his brother. Well, that doesn't change anything.
I don't think they ever say which side of the family she's on.
Yeah, which side of the family it's on. That wouldn't. Yeah. But, they're bickering because she's making sausage gravy, For those of you not based in the United States or the Midwest or the South, biscuits and gravy are the greatest thing ever. My wife is from New York and had not tried them until she got here. And, there's a reason why Midwesterners take cholesterol medicine.
She went and she dipped her finger in it and tasted it, and then tried to add ingredients.
Yeah, she added some cayenne pepper to it.
Yes, and the dipping finger into any food that's being currently cooked and tasting it was something that my wife's grandmother did. Just notorious for it. And then she would just scoot on by.
See, my grandma used tasting spoons. She was good about that. There were older members of the family that didn't, but my grandma was really good about that. The putting cayenne pepper tells me that his grandma was probably from the South and his mom's from Indiana, because that's a very Southern thing, is to do a spicy gravy.
That reinforces your thinking that it's the dad's the mother.
Yeah. I have no idea. But you find out that Garfield, really likes his grandma.
They get along.
He's getting, he loves his grandma pets. He's he's a lap cat with her, and is getting cuddles and stuff. And they're sitting there, and at night, and grandma's basically has this deep conversation with the cat. The cat's just sitting on the lap, and it's how she misses her husband, and on nights like this, she misses his big, strong arms. It gets a little bit okay, grandma. But
definitely that type of grandma.
Yeah. And this leads to, Garfield, after everyone goes to bed, there's a nice funny scene. Good night, Doc Boy, good night, John. Everyone's pissed because people just keep saying good night too much. The dad's basically the most child-friendly way of just yelling, "Shut the fuck up."
Yes.
I'm gonna come in there and put a pillow over your face. Yeah, and it also leads to the funny "Goodnight, Doc Boy," and I swear that's from Little House on the Prairie. I think that they named him Doc Boy just so they could do that joke.
No, that's not.
Maybe not Little. What's it from? It's from something. And this proves that I do no research for these videos. This is why I have 53 subscribers. There's zero research.
52 now.
See, what I need to do is just start doing what all the famous YouTubers do, and just do all of my research to just be word for word from articles and stuff that I find on the internet. Steal from other people. That's boring. That's the YouTube way.
But people watch you because of your lack of effort.
Yes, they like me because my lack of effort. That's how I've gotten by in life in general.
And me.
10%. They watch for you, yeah. It's not for Rob, not for him.
Never for Rob.
Never for Rob. He has the lowest performing videos.
Darn right.
No, actually he doesn't, but...
And all the hate mail.
All of the hate. So, kind of diving back in, Odie's up to something. So he's sneaking off to the barn because John's family lives on a farm. Mm-hmm. Garfield follows him to find out that Odie's making a gift for Garfield, a back scratcher, a homemade one. Because even though Odie's a moron and Garfield physically abuses him constantly and verbally, he's got some Stockholm syndrome and he loves Garfield. Mm-hmm.
There's a moment when he takes a plunger or a broom, and he knows to unwind the threading.
He unwinds the threading, and he puts a rake thing on the end or something. Yeah. Makes a really thoughtful gift.
But when he did that part where he unwound the threading, I just stopped for a moment. I was I thought you were supposed to be dumb. That's the smartest thing you've done right there.
It's the most real dog-cat relationship in a cartoon, because cartoons always show dogs as being I oughta, which in truth, dogs are usually I love you, feline friend, and cats are just claws, I hate you.
Yeah.
That's how it normally is. But yeah, very thoughtful gift. While they're doing that, Garfield stumbles into a box of letters. Cuts to Christmas morning. And Christmas morning, Odie gives Garfield his gift. Garfield is very thankful.
You missed the kids forcing the dad to read Binky's face.
I missed the best part. So, for those who haven't watched a Garfield and Friends or any of these specials, Binky the Clown is the greatest creation ever.
I'd forgotten about Binky until he did the voice.
Felicia, just
And I was
splice that in. Splice Binky the Clown screaming, "Hey kids, the world needs to see this."
Hey, kids! Binky's the name and clowning's my game. How'd you like me to come to your house on your birthday? Have your parents call this number.
Not now, Binky. I have to put Garfield to bed.
Yeah, I'd forgot. Thank you for reminding me of that, John. He's reading that story, yeah.
He was reading it, and I was like, who's Binky? And then he did the, hey, kids! I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
childhood memory.
They're full-grown adults. They've got to be in their 30s. I mean, his brother's balding at this point, and they're like, "Dad, read the story. Yeah, read the bedtime story, Dad." And they're making him read the story of how, this psychotic clown saved Christmas.
Do the voice, Dad. Do it right.
Every time Binky saw children, he would say, "Hey, kids!"
Oh, no, Dad. Read it with more emotion.
Yeah, and why don't you say it like Binky says it?
Every time Binky saw children, he would say, "Hey, kids!"
I always just wanted them to do a special of just Binky the Clown Saves Christmas, like a full length. It's kind of like the Family Guy Kiss Saves Christmas. I would watch an 1.5-hour movie of Kiss Saves Christmas.
Right up there, yeah.
Yeah, same kind of thing. And then Christmas morning, they also act like kids, where it's like 4 in the morning. Like, I don't know about you, but like up until I was about 10 years, 1 in the morning. Up until, it was like 1 in the morning. It's like, it's technically Christmas. Let us open gifts. Up until I was like 10 years old, that's how I was. I would, like, my parents would be like, no earlier, like, the sun has to be up. So I would wake them up at like 5 in the fucking morning and be like, let's open some gifts. That's how I was. As an adult, I'm just like, it's Christmas Day. I sleep till noon because it's a day off. My wife and I have already gotten our presents to each other and already know, like, I don't even wait, But, like, as a kid. So I'm happy that John and his, brother still have that magic.
The magic and frustrating their dad. And, yeah.
The magic of Christmas.
Mm-mm.
The magic of stressing their dad enough that he's going to go into an early grave. And if what's his name? Sorry, Jim Davis. If Jim Davis was a better designer, he would have put like a forehead vein in there, but that just wasn't his style. If it was like designed by like the Ren and Stimpy creator or Mike Judge or something, then you'd see like a giant like forehead vein popping out.
Oh no, it's going to red.
Yeah. You get the Hank Hill, Mike Judge, if they did that. But yeah, that they finally wake up Christmas morning. Everyone's opening gifts and they're all happy. Garfield opens the back scratcher. He didn't get shit for Odie. Nermal's not even there. She's probably in Abu Dhabi being held hostage.
It's for the best that she's not there. Really.
Yeah, they would send him to Nermal to Abu Dhabi back before the UAE owned Abu Dhabi. Like it was back when not like now Abu Dhabi would be like, okay, well, I'm like right next to Dubai. I'll just party it up. Like it's a good place to. That'd be a good ticket now.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I think there was like just oil fields. It's a weird tangent to get on, but then Garfield has a package, and it's the envelope. He gift wrapped the letters that he found, and they're literally love letters that the grandpa wrote the grandma when they were first dating, and it's super sweet. The grandma cries, says it's the best gift she ever did. There's a heartwarming song, and that's the end of the special. See, I said it's short because cartoons back then were 20 minutes because 90s kids, well, it was 80s and 90s kids had no attention span. We wanted things ingested in 20 minutes. Movies nowadays are 4 hours, and I have to use the bathroom twice. Things were better back then. I could go to the movie theater, take 20 minutes to watch a movie, and then be out of there.
As God intended.
As God intended. Make movies only 20 minutes long now.
I want to watch
That's the new push.
Watch them scramble like
Titanic ruined everything. Damn you, James Cameron. You do that, and then you give people searing migraines with your 3D.
Titanic in 20 minutes.
They could do Titanic in 20 minutes. Oh shit, an iceberg! That's how they start. That'll be one that we review, Titanic. So yeah, like, you know, getting through it. It's a heartwarming Christmas special, like all of them. Most children's Christmas specials were short. Even like Disney Christmas Carol, which Christmas Carol they can go on for like 2 hours. The Disney version of it, like the Mickey one, is like 15 minutes. You know, like Christmas specials are short. But I thought it was sweet. It reminded me of my childhood a little bit. I wasn't a farm kid, but I was fairly rural. And yeah, what were some additional thoughts you had, John? Because at this point we've rambled on about this movie longer than this movie took to go through.
I thoroughly loved towards the end when they opened all the gifts, right? And as you point out, these are two grown men, probably in their 30s. And Doc Boy is playing with a toy airplane.
Yeah.
While wearing a onesie.
Yeah.
And I just, like, oh my, they really just went all in on, we're going to be the little kids.
I know that we hate on Rob a lot on this channel, and he deserves it, but I could see him opening a toy on Christmas morning in a onesie despite being in his 40s and just playing with it like that.
Yes.
Out of all of our friends.
Noises and all.
Yeah. This is why we love and hate Rob. Honestly, I could see myself doing that. I think we all own a onesie. I think we all own the same onesie.
We do.
We all own a matching onesie, me, you, and Rob. Despite it not being retro, we should review the Fallout series when it comes out with those on. So you know, like, looking into, like, you know, nostalgia and reviewing again, I can't give this a fair review. I'm still too blinded by nostalgia with this one. It's still a little too close to me that I'm still going to give it like a 15 out of 10. I can't give it a fair rating. I know that it's probably not that good, but, you know, there's still that kid in me being like, Garfield, yeah!
Yes.
So, John, what was your rewatch review?
I fully agree with the fact that it's Garfield. It's the old, not Bill Murray Garfield. It's, you know, the one we grew up with.
Bill Murray can go to hell.
Because we were both from Indiana, there were, you know, that feel of Indiana in there as well. So, but at the same time, the storyline got a little wonky a few times. You know, they had one too many songs going that maybe they could have narrowed it down a few. Animation was what it was, right? So I felt like as I was watching this film, it was just going up and down with the feelings of it.
That's called emotional roller coaster, John. You're welcome.
So, like, there were moments where I would say this movie was a 4 out of 10, and there were moments of this film, short, whatever, where it went all the way up to like an 8 out of 10. And I really don't know. It just depended where we were in that film. Also, I thought it was funny because I watched this film with my wife and kids, right? And we watched it on, I think we watched it on YouTube. And YouTube
it's just free on YouTube.
Yeah, but did the commercials, right? The ads. And my kids were just like, what is happening? It's like, yeah, that's how it was, man.
Yeah, back in the day, I pay for YouTube Premium, so I didn't have to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that big a deal. It was just funny for them to be like, what is these things? I was like, this is how your parents watched this. I mean,
this is how people make money.
That too. But like, we had to suffer through this. Also, you learn to time them. You know, to be like, oh, commercial, I've got 5 minutes, go to the bathroom.
We at least had better commercials back then. I mean, like 90s toys of like it would be like, okay, here's a 20-minute program, so we're going to stuff in 15 minutes of commercials. But it was like, kids, check this shit out. You're going to slip and fall and cut the piss out of yourself and go to the ER. But it's sick as shit. That was like toy commercials back then.
Yes.
Look at this purple ketchup! Whoa!
Look at these really, really small items we're giving to babies. It's fine.
Don't choke on it!
Not our problem.
Not our problem. Here's a piece of candy with a chokeable object in the middle of it. Yeah, that was 90s.
times. Good times.
Good
I know
times.
how we're alive.
Yeah. So you can't really give it a good rating, then, is what you're
And
saying.
it just really, depending on the moment, there were moments where it was like, oh my goodness.
What did your kids think? I am curious what your children thought of it. Because it being, you know, a children's special, but being like an older one.
My son, the 7-year-old, I think he was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the most part, he was entertained. It was a Christmas thing, so that gets his attention no matter what. My daughter, too, was just like, Kitty! Love Kitty!
That is a fair assessment of Garfield.
Yeah, so she was over the hill. Everything was great with it.
Right.
My son may have openly, like, moaned in frustration twice during whenever a song came on.
So what you're saying is, show this to your small children that like cats.
Yes. Oh, that was 100% for my daughter.
Well, I think that's all the time that we have today because we just milked 25 minutes out of a 20-minute special. Thank you again, Jon. You know, not to give away the background, but the thing that I record these with had an update, and it took us like an hour to do this 20-minute to get this set up and get this 20-minute recording
really
working.
Did not like me.
Yeah, so we just put an hour and a half into a 20-minute video, not to mention that Felicia's going to be editing it. So like and subscribe. We put, you know, I put a whole 10 minutes of research into this also, and 20 minutes of watching the movie. That's like, you know, between that and then Felicia, that's like 4 hours of work. That's a lot of work for this crappy video.
And Felicia, make sure you make me and Trevor look really good and really smart. So that's...
Don't tell her that. She will do the opposite.
No, that's 2 more hours of work for her, so...
Yeah, I'm gonna have to, like, start learning how to video edit myself, because she's gonna purposely make us look stupid. Well, thank you all again for watching. We'll have another video out shortly for Congo, the greatest movie ever made.
Ugly Gorilla, Ugly Go Away.
Yes, it's the greatest Michael Crichton novel ever written, also, screw Jurassic Park. So we'll be doing that again, you know, shortly after this one. And like and subscribe, give a comment, give suggestions. Hell, if you want to be on here and you're a random weirdo that follows me, let me know. I'm more than willing to put some weirdos on here. Mm-hmm. And that is it. Thank you all for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.